All right. Yay, welcome. So I found this workout on my previous Instagram, on my Fitness Mal Instagram from like circa 2018, and I modified it to fit my values now. So it's a bit old Mal and a bit new Mal. So we'll see how everyone feels about it. As always, take any modifications you need, any options. I'll be giving lots today. Feel free to play music on your end if you want. I don't play music because then I have to put in my AirPods and it just stresses me out. So, but feel free to play music on your end. Yeah, honestly, that's all you kind of need to know. We're going to start on our backs today, as usual, starting out in our glute bridge. So laying on back so the low back is pressing down into the mat. The feet are also pressing down. And you want to make sure those ribs are kind of tucked in here, core is engaged, and then you can squeeze and come up into that glute bridge. And then we'll put our hands on our thighs here and press down a little bit to give some feedback. And we're just going to start with some glute pulses. So just lifting and lowering the hips a couple inches. You really want to keep this out of your low back. So keeping the engagement in the glutes rather than in the low back. So this can be a pretty small movement, not too much going on, but you'll start to feel that burn pretty fast. And if you want, you can also put your hands on your hip bones and give a little bit of feedback there instead. You can see what feels better. Good. 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring those feet together so the inner borders of the feet are touching, and then just bringing the knees out just a little bit, so not dropping them out wide. And then going back into those pulses, but the knees are going to be slightly, externally rotated. So my knees are just out a couple inches, and then you're going to feel a different kind of glute burn here. So we're starting to engage all of the muscles around the hips to really help us keep that neutral spine and our neutral pelvis here. Ooh, it's burning already. Good. 3, 2, 1. Bringing those feet back into the middle. We'll lift and lower those heels. So starting to warm up the fascia in your feet. Ooh, everything is firing up fast. So lifting and lowering those heels, trying to keep the ankles right above the heels so we're not pronating our ankles in. Good. 3, 2, 1. Last one. We're just going to kind of windshield wiper the knees in and out here. So warming up those adductors and then back into the glute med a little bit. So just bringing the knees in and out here, whatever feels good. 3, 2, 1, and lowering down onto your back. All right, bringing those hands behind your head. Elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. That low back is pressed into the mat. We'll inhale, exhale, and lift up here. We're going to extend that left leg out and abduct it once to the side and back in. Knee down, lower, inhale, exhale, lift up. We're extending that right leg, doing one abduction out to the side here, lowering down. Good. Inhale, pulling those shoulder blades up off the ground, extending that left leg. We're going to do 2 this time, so 2 abductions. Good. Back to the center, down, and lower. Inhale. Those elbows are pointing towards the ceiling. Exhale and lift. 2 abductions here. That lower back is pressed down. Good. And lower. Inhale. Exhale. Lift up. We're doing 3 abductions this time. So really getting into that deep core. Good. 2, 3, and down. Inhale. Exhale, lifting up off those shoulder blades. We're doing 3 on that right leg. 2, 1. Back down. Last time here of this sort, and then we'll switch it up just a little bit. So inhale, exhale, lift up. We're doing 4 this time. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and down, other side, inhale, exhale, lifting up off those shoulder blades, right leg for 4 abductions, 3, 2, 1, and down. We have one last little thing here, just to keep warming up the core. So inhale, exhale, lifting up. We're extending that left leg and then twisting just a 1/2 inch towards that left, and then doing 1 abduction and holding out to the side. In that twist, back to center, and down last time, just last little core challenge. Inhale, exhale, lifting up, extending that right leg, twisting towards the right, abducting out and holding. Really getting into that deep core, back to center, and down. Whew. All right, flipping on over here. So that core should be warmed up, the glutes are warmed up. Feel free to grab a sip of water if you need. All right, so how today is working, we'll be doing, let's see, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, 4 rounds through. So our first exercise will be a glute med lift. So you're gonna come on your forearm here, and then your knees are stacked, and you're gonna squeeze. So our glute med is right above our glute max, which is probably what most people think of as your glute. And you're gonna kind of squeeze down your shoulder blade here and press into the feet. So in lifting up and then back down, lifting up and back down. So really gonna be working the glute, also getting into the shoulders a bit. And then our second exercise will be a clamshell. So coming down, you can come down onto like all the way down with your head on your bicep, or you could prop your head up with your hand, and we're gonna open, internally rotate that hip, bring the foot back down and close. Opening, internally rotating, down and close. So again, getting into that abductor here as well. All right, so we're gonna start with those glute med lifts, 45 seconds on, and then 15 seconds, we'll switch to the other side. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. So you can put a hand on that upper hip, so you're extending that top leg, lowering back down. We're really pressing into, I guess like the calf area on that bottom leg. So you're really pressing up off that hip, raising that top leg and back down. I know, Mom, you said last time that you didn't think this was hard, so I would love to know if maybe you're feeling it differently this time, because it feels very challenging for me. Good, 15 seconds. Core is engaged here as well. Good, 3, 2, 1. Switching to that other side. So that forearm is down. Again, you're sliding that shoulder blade down your back. Knees are stacked in 3, 2, 1. So lifting up off that bottom leg. You can play around with how far away the knees are from you. Depends on the length of your legs. So there's no right or wrong distance away for anyone. Feeling that oblique start to fire up too to help the glutes engage. Good, 15 seconds here. Good, 3, 2, 1. We're flipping over for our clamshell, so back onto that first side. Remember, you can come down on your arm completely or propping up the head. I'm gonna come down on my arm. So those knees are stacked again in that same position. We'll start in 3, 2. Once you're opening, internally rotating, tapping the foot and down. Opening, internally rotating, tapping that foot and down. You're gonna feel that glute fire up. So that pelvis is staying neutral. The only thing that's moving is the hip socket, the hip in the hip socket. So internally tapping and down. So depending on your hip mobility, you may be able to open up more than other people, or I don't have a lot of hip mobility, so mine is pretty small, and that is okay. All right, burns. 3, 2, 1. We'll switch to the other side. Starting off hot with these glutes. All right. Coming to that other side, those clamshells in 3, 2, 1. So we're opening, internally rotating, tapping, and down. Open, internally rotating, tapping, and down. I like to keep my hand on my pelvis just to make sure that it's not moving. Good. The core is still engaged. You're not letting those ribs splay too much. All right, 15 seconds. This glute is really asleep for me. Wake up, wake up. Good. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Nice. All right, so we are going on to our next one. So that was our glute, our first glute round. So we're gonna switch off between glutes and more arms and core. So this next one will be more arms and core. So our first exercise will be push-ups. So wider arm push-ups and bringing those shoulder blades down your back. You can do this on your knees or on your toes, but we're just coming to our normal push-ups. And again, remember, depth doesn't matter. You can be here, you can come all the way down. You just want to keep good form. Our second exercise will be side plank rotation. So stacking those forearms and opening up into a side plank on one side, and then coming into a side plank on the other side. You can also do this on your knees if you would rather do that instead. I like to punch the air, but you don't have to punch the air if you don't want to. All right, starting with those push-ups. All right, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off in 3, 2, 1. So bringing those hands a little bit wider, screwing the hands into the ground, and then coming into those strong push-ups. The neck is staying neutral here, so not letting the head drop. And you can always do a couple and take a rest like me. I'm not yet on my push-up game. It's just not a priority for me right now. Good, 15 seconds. Good, 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds off. We'll go into our side plank rotations. Don't worry, we won't do push-ups twice in a row. So we're just rotating back and forth on those forearms. Starting in 3, 2, 1. You can start either way, just pivoting, opening up to the side, pivoting to the middle, pivoting to the other side. And you can always do this on your knees. So really using that scapular strength here to bring you into a power position in that side plank. Good, 15 seconds. Good, 3, 2, 1, 15 seconds off. Back into those push-ups for 45 seconds. Finding that stability here in 3, 2, 1. So kind of screwing the hands into the ground, sliding the scapula down your ribs, and really getting that core engaged, pressing through the hands. Good, 15 seconds left. Push-ups never get any easier. Holy moly. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll go into our side plank rotations one last time here. In 3, 2, so I'm stacking those forearms and pivoting. So staying strong in the shoulders and the core here. Remember, you can always drop down to the knees here and pivot on the knees. "15 seconds left. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Ow. All right, give those arms a nice little shake. Nice job. All right, next up, we're going back into our legs. So we're doing a one-leg deadlift. So again, finding the pelvis, we're planting that right leg, hinging forward, keeping the pelvis neutral, and then driving that knee up. You don't have to bring it all the way to extension if you want, or flexion, but you're welcome to, and then coming back. So one leg, 45 seconds, and then our second exercise, yes, we're down in our quadruped. I'm gonna show this at an angle, and then we're bringing that leg up to 90, it's fine if it's down here, but keeping it as close to 90 degrees as you can, and we're just doing a little mini pulse here. Notice that my hip's not here, so try to keep your hip as neutral as you can. All right, let's do it. So coming up into that one leg deadlift position, getting ready to hinge forward in 3, 2, 1. So I'm on my right leg, so I'm hinging that left foot up, hinging forward. And you can also hold on to something around you if that helps your stability a bit. Everyone's gonna be wobbly, so don't worry if you're falling about a bit. Really using the strength of that right leg and the adductors and abductors to help you hinge the hips back, hinge forward, using that glute strength we built in that first round. 15 seconds. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off. We'll switch to that other leg. So same thing. You may find one leg is a little bit easier, harder than the other one. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So hinging forward over that left leg. You can flex the toe of that opposite leg too. That helps me keep some stability. Hinging that hip back so that glute is staying right over your ankle. Ryan chews so loudly. All right, 15 seconds. Wake up, glutey. Good. 3, 2, 1. We're coming down to the floor for our quadruped lifts. So finding that quadruped position, that lower back is staying flat. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. So that foot is flexed and we're just doing little pulses. Try to keep that neck as neutral as you can here. Core is engaged so you're not dropping the lower back down. Like you're stamping your foot into the ceiling here. It's a little tiny move. You may also feel the hamstring firing as well. I like to sometimes make sure my hip is neutral by putting my hand on it. Good. 3, 2, 1. We'll switch to the other side here. This is my sleepy glute, so we'll see how this one goes. So finding that neutral pelvis, starting in 3, 2, 1. So just stamping that foot up a couple inches and back down. So again, I'm not here, I'm keeping that pelvis neutral. Neck is staying nice and even, same with the spine. Making sure you're breathing and that core is still engaged. Good, 15 seconds here. Pushing out of the hands so you're not dropping down, pushing into the hands. 3, 2, 1, relax. All right, we are back to our arms and core. So the first exercise and the next one will be tricep dips. So if you have something around you, you want to use like a chair or the couch or something, you can, or I'll demo tricep dips from table. So you're in that table position, dropping back and back up. So either option, if you have something around you want to use for tricep dips, great. If you would rather do it in table like me, that's fine too. Our second exercise is Dolphin. So you can bring those arms together like so. You can also bring them down like this. And we'll just be holding our Dolphin for 45 seconds. So tucking those toes, lifting the hips up, pressing through the shoulder blades. So we're really working that upper back in our Dolphin. So feel free at any time, and that 45 seconds is a long time. Lower down to your knees, take a break, and come back. All right, starting with those tricep dips. So finding a chair if you want, couch, whatever you want, or you're finding that table with me. In 3, 2, 1. So if you're in that table position, just lowering down a couple inches. And it's not the hips that are lowering, it's just those shoulders. The elbows are coming back a little bit, squeezing in and pressing out of them. That neck is staying neutral. Ooh, this wakes them up real fast. Good, 15 seconds. Good, 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off, we'll come to that Dolphin. So you can either come onto those arms or bring the hands together. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So coming into a plank position and then walking those feet in towards you, lifting the hips, pressing through those shoulder blades. That neck is relaxed. So the core is still engaged here. It's helping lift your pelvis up. Those shoulders should start to feel it pretty soon. Good, 15 seconds. Good, 3, 2, 1. Whew. 15 seconds off. We're back into those tricep dips. Nice. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So if you want to be in that table or back on your couch or chair, we're lowering down. You can see I'm not lowering down very much. Triceps are small muscles, so They're not expected to lift and lower your whole body, and that's very normal. So same with the push-ups, you're kind of screwing the hands into the ground and using the strength from the floor to press you back up. Same thing with your hands in chair or couch. Good, 10 seconds. Good, 3, 2, 1, relax. All right, we have our final dolphin here. Give those arms a quick shake before we get back into that dolphin. And again, 45 seconds is a long time. Feel free to come down and come back into it too. All right, 3, 2, 1, tucking those toes, lifting the hips here. So really trying to press out of your forearms, so not letting the shoulders fall towards the floor. You're pressing powerfully against the floor here. Core is still engaged. That neck is relaxed. I'm feeling my triceps from those tricep dips. Good. Less than 10 seconds. Good. 3, 2, 1. Whew. All right, so we have one final structured round, and then I'll tell you what we're doing for the last one. So our next exercise is a side plank pull. So you can find that side plank position either with that foot kicked behind you or underneath you, whatever feels best. And then you'll have that top leg lifted, and we're just gonna lift and lower that top leg here. So really, again, getting into that glute. And then your second exercise will be a bird dog crunch. So you won't be on that same arm. So if your arm was here, you're gonna come, we're gonna extend that right arm, left leg, and coming into a bird dog crunch. So extending the right arm out and then coming in. And it doesn't actually have to touch, but getting in that general position. Then we'll go to the other side. All right, so we're in that side plank position. So our modified side plank position. So leg is either tucked behind you or underneath you, and we'll get ready to lift that left leg. 3, 2, 1. So pulsing that top leg. So that right glute and left glute are both fired up here. Trying to keep that neck pretty neutral, core is engaged, toe is flexed. I know there's a lot going on in this position. So it's recruiting all the muscles right here in your hip that help you do functional movement, walk upstairs, go for a run, bike ride. All of those muscles help you here. So this is kind of like a mini abduction, like we practiced on our core. Good. 3, 2, 1. We'll come towards our quadruped position. We'll be lifting our right arm out and left leg, and then coming into that crunch. Good. 3, 2, 1. So right arm, left leg is out behind you, and then bringing them either together or just close, and then extending them back out. So back a little bit into that core work. And we're not trying to, screw our lower back, keeping the hips neutral here too. So we're getting back into a little bit of the balance challenge. I actually really love bird dog. I think it's a very fun movement. Good, 10 seconds. Good, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go to the other side for that side plank. So that left hand is down, your right knee is either kicked back or underneath you, and getting ready to lift that right leg. In 3, 2, 1. So lifting and lowering that top leg, just a couple inches, flexing that toe in towards you. Trying to keep that bottom shoulder away from your ear, so pressing out through the floor, instead of collapsing down onto that shoulder. Watching where the ribs are, so you want to keep them tucked in rather than splaying them out. That is a sign that your pelvis is not neutral. Good, 15 seconds here. Good, 3, 2, 1. Coming to that quadruped, so we'll extend that left arm and right leg in 10 seconds. Starting in 3, 2, 1. So bringing that knee towards your elbow and then extending back out. Good, that core staying engaged the whole time here. Nice and powerful. Breathing. Good, 15 seconds left. Good, 3, 2, 1, relax. All right, so we have one final round, but this is going to be kind of a build your own round. So I'm gonna read off all of the exercises we've done so far, and you can combine any two to make your own 6th round. I like doing this because if people have certain things they wanna work on or favorite movements, they get to kind of incorporate those into the final round. So first exercise was our glute med lift. So we're here lifting up. Our second exercise was that same thing, but with the clamshells. And then we had push-ups, which I think I don't need to demo, you know what those are. And then we had our side plank rotations, our one leg deadlift. So standing, hinging forward and back. We had our quadruped glute lifts. So squeezing the glute here. We had our tricep dips. So in our table or wherever you wanted to be, tricep dips. Dolphin, I think we're all scarred by dolphin, so I'm sure you remember what that is. And then what we just did, our side plank pulses and our bird dog crunch. So I know that was a lot, but think about which ones you enjoyed the most or which ones you want to try again and combine those two into a round of your own. Let me think about what I'm doing. Okay. I know which two I'm doing. I'm going to choose clamshells and bird dog crunch, but I'm going to cue as if you're doing any of them. So just pick whichever one you want to start with, and we'll be doing 4 rounds just like we did, so you'll get to do both sides regardless of what you choose. All right, sound good, everyone? All right. So 45 seconds, whatever on that first exercise, first side. In 3, 2, 1. So wherever you are, I know this has been a focus tonight, but checking in on that core and your glutes to make sure everything is staying aligned and fired up. But also maybe you want to have a little bit of fun this last round, adding on something that maybe you like as a modification or an addition, or maybe just adding a little pizzazz into it. Whatever you're feeling. Good, 15 seconds here. Good. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds off, so you can go to that same exercise other side, or you can come to the first one of your other exercise. I'm gonna go to my bird dog crunch and then do the other side, but choice is yours. So starting in 3, 2, 1. So you can either be on that second exercise or second side of your first exercise. We're doing 4 rounds. Nice, everyone. 15 seconds here. Good. 3, 2, 1. All right, halfway. So either coming to that other side or going on to your second exercise wherever you are at. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Almost there, everyone. We are very close. Hopefully you're enjoying your last round. Good. 15 seconds left here. Last little bit. Final 5 seconds. Good. 3, 2, 1. We have one final exercise, so whatever you haven't done yet. Also, I mean, if you were doing something with only one side, you're just going to do that again. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Last 45 seconds, then we'll go into a couple stretches. So final little push. Finding that same alignment we found all night. 15 seconds to go. Good. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Nice job. Take a second, grab some water, and then we'll go through a couple stretches with our last 15 or 5 minutes. We can come to a seat here. So whatever seat feels comfortable. And we're just gonna start with some big shoulder rolls. So relaxing those shoulders back, releasing some of the tension in the upper back, also getting a little bit of thoracic mobility here. Good, and then bring each of the hands on the shoulders. We're gonna do kind of the same movement, but now with the hands on the shoulders, you get a little bit more traction to release some of that upper back tension. Good, all right, we're gonna bring our left hand down and extend our right arm over, so getting some lateral flexion here. Keeping both of the sit bones on the ground, still keeping the core engaged so that our low back's not taking the weight. Good, we'll switch to the other side, right arm down, left arm reaches over. Getting a lot of that extension all the way from your hip up through your shoulder. Good, back to center. We're going to start walking forward. So keeping the hip bones on the ground, you can bring those arms in front of you and just do little steps forward with those hands. I have a lot of hip tension, so I can't get super far, but I feel a nice big stretch in my inner thighs. If you have a lot more flexibility, maybe you can get down here, but only go as far as you can with keeping the chest pretty lifted. Good, we'll walk those hands, staying where they are, over to the right side, so getting a little bit more of a stretch in that left glute. Walking the hands through center, walking them over to the other side, same thing. Good, back to center. Good. I know this doesn't seem like a big deal, but switch the way that your feet are crossed, and we're going to do that same thing because it actually makes a difference in where your hips are sitting. So walking forward again, I already feel it in a different place than I did before. Walking those arms over to the right side. Good. Walking through center, over to the left side. Good. Back to center and walking back in. We're going to bring the arms behind your back. So getting a nice little opening in that chest. So rather than coming here, really see if you can bring those palms to your sacrum and open up the chest without splaying the ribs. So keeping the ribs tucked and getting some opening after those tricep dips and push-ups. And then bring that fist over to your right glute, and then, I guess, drop your head towards your left shoulder. So getting some nice opening in that right part of your neck. Good. Lift the head back up to center, bringing that fist over to the left glute and dropping the neck over to the right side. Good. Back to center. We'll bring those arms out wide, like you're giving someone a giant hug, pretending you're being pulled away. So chest opening here. Good. And then final stretch tonight. You'll bring those hands, the fists together, and you're going to pretend you're punching forward and dome that upper back. So you're really opening up the shoulder blades, doming that upper back. Releasing the neck a little bit. And release. Yay! You all made it. All right, I'm going to stop recording.